Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Married at First Sight, Season 19, Episode 5.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, and hype the video. Listen here. We have seen all the episodes. All I'm asking is that there be no spoilers.
Yeah.
Just wait a little bit. I'm going to get all 3 episodes out as soon as possible. Blair, you ready to walk us through this?
Let's get to it.
Please.
We start with Megan and Derek on their car ride home from paddleboarding. It's an emotional ride.
Yeah.
He's feeling guilty for making her feel ambushed. He wants them to be able to bring things up in an honest way. She is giving him the silent treatment.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold you. I already found my villain for the season. And it didn't take me long. Mm-hmm. Like, she is 100%, especially up to this point, the villain for me, for sure.
Yeah. We get to Brittany and Will. Brittany ends up coming back to the room. He asks her where she went and if this is something that she does often as far as storming out the room without saying anything. She does end up apologizing, saying that she should have told him she was leaving, but she was frustrated. And she was apologizes for if he was offended by her comparing him to Megan. He says that, you know, he's not offended by that. He just feels like usually he's the one who asks the deep questions, and she's already kind of like, you know what, I don't want to rehash the conversation. We're just not going to agree. Now, he ends up getting up, giving her a hug and a kiss. He lets her know we're not always going to agree on things, but we should be dedicated to trying to figure things out, which she agrees to, and they hug it out.
Blair, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why does it matter who asks the deep questions?
I don't think it matters. That's the thing with Will of his, I think, trying to be right.
Yeah.
I can respect the fact that he wants the account to be true because you don't need to just tell yourself a story and run with it. So I don't fault him for coming back with what he believes to be true, but it doesn't need to be rehashed. Yeah. Clearly we don't agree.
100%. I've seen some comments and things of that nature that a lot of people are comparing Will to Akechi. I don't think it's that simplistic. I don't see Akechi. You may see some traits that both of them may have, but I think he's very different from Akechi. I think he's condescending and the reason why he's not condescending just to be condescending. He's condescending because he believes he's the smartest guy in the room. I believe that he wants us all to believe that he's the smartest guy in the room. So even with their whole conversation about, hey, I just feel like you don't ask me enough deep questions. Okay, why does that matter? And then when she asks you a question, he did not give a direct answer. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So the whole point about it is, and I understand that he got up and he gave her a hug and a kiss and things like that. I saw that more as pitying her, in my opinion. Basically just quieting her down, just be like, you know what, only thing you need is a hug and things like that. Where really, she want to know what is your love language. There's things that she asked questions to last episode that he did not answer. You get what I'm saying? And I think she kind of feels, and maybe you can help me with the word, Blair. Maybe not coldness, but there's a certain coldness that he gives to his response to where she can't really gauge how he feels about anything.
Well, it's like a lack of care.
Yeah.
You know, he is roundabout answering questions. He did end up telling her that his, quality time was fine, but it's not enough for her to know, okay, but like, what do you truly think? What do you truly believe? Yep. It's as though it's all in a reaction to her actions or her reactions. So she really wants to get to know the trueness of him, but I think that I don't know. I think Brittany's strategy, it might have been a little bit better for her to, I hate to say it, take the Megan route.
Really?
and just allow the conversation to flow and let things be light and easy the first few days. I think she might have put a little bit too much pressure on herself and him for things to be a certain type of way during the honeymoon, especially with the whole sex situation. I mean, that just kind of like brought everying to the ground.
Yeah. And we definitely go touch on that later in the episode. Let's keep going.
But I do think that when we're talking about this scene, I'm going to give Will credit for giving her what she needed, because I was saying this whole time that he's not meeting her where she's at. And she's clearly emotional. She wants to feel some type of care, some type of interest in her. And I think the hug and the kiss is what she needed to make her feel more secure. So
yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
From my perspective, it looked like he pacified her.
Okay.
It's like, oh, you need a hug and a kiss. Here's your hug and a kiss.
But it made her feel better.
And at the same time, if you need to be pacified, don't be surprised if he treats you like a baby and he's condescending.
Okay.
Because if that's what's going to get you to basically feel well, besides everything else, then he just going to pacify you throughout the whole relationship. You know what I mean?
Now we move on to Megan and Derek. They ended up talking about each other's perspectives. She's not used to having conversations in relationships that are difficult, that hold her accountable, or the way she says it, hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
And she still really likes him. She typically is an avoidant. She shuts down and she is trying to be more vulnerable. He wants to be able to talk through things because, you know, he wants things to work.
Yeah. Now, here's what I don't understand. She knows all these things about herself, but yet she's willing to say out her mouth, you ambushed me.
And that's the thing, is that I think that some people, they can recognize after the fact, but they don't necessarily know how to change their behavior. And that's where therapy comes in. Get some help.
No, that's where I leave. Because at the end of the day, if you know what you're doing, because you know your flaws and things of that nature, and you still decide to act out, then you become a manipulator, then you are gaslighting, then you are doing a lot of things intentionally, in my opinion, especially when you know that, hey, I am an avoidant. These type of conversations is hard for me. If you know that, then you need to practice having these conversations and know that he's not ambushing you.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, Megan, I'm not feeling Megan.
Now, they play this game. During the game, they talk about how he wants to be a dad to 2 or 3 kids. She does want to have children. Of course, we know, like, she froze her eggs, and she is scared to give birth because of the pain.
That's fair.
We move on. Pat, Rhonda, Brittany, and Will all go bike riding.
Yeah.
Brittany and Rhonda have a conversation, and Brittany explains that the instant connection is there, but there are 2 different people. They had a big argument. She ended up leaving. Rhonda tells her, well, that's independent, Brittany, but you guys just have to pretty much battle it out and get to learn each other. Rhonda says her last relationship was 2020, and his was 6 months ago. He felt judged by her reaction, and she was just wondering if he's ready for marriage or if she's just filling in the gap after the breakup. He is sensitive. His long-term marriage really messed him up, and she also thinks he's insecure, and she don't want no insecure man.
Dude, like, you think that was nice of Rhonda to do what she just did just there?
No, I thought that was really wrong.
I thought it was rude.
Because personally, I don't think that you should down talk your spouse to anybody.
Facts.
Nobody.
Facts.
Because that's your person, and I think that you should be in a place of wanting to, you know, present them in the best light when it comes to outside people. And it's not to try to make them out to be somebody they're not, but essentially it's nobody's business for them to know that you think your man is insecure.
Yeah.
And I feel like that could end up having people treat him a certain way. I feel like that type of thought or conversation is something to have with the experts.
Yeah.
So I do get that they have to lean on each other throughout this process, but some thoughts, I feel like you can explain the disagreements y'all had and the steps that you are trying to take to make it work. Yeah. But that kind of thing, that of like cutting your partner down in the eyes of somebody else, I'm not with that.
Yeah, I'm not with that at all.
Yeah.
Remember what I said about Rhonda? And when the first time we was introduced to her, I said, yeah, let's paint the town red. She's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday type of person.
Yeah.
Let's see how she deals with Monday through Thursday. And now we're seeing Monday Rhonda. You get what I'm saying? We're seeing someone to where they had a conversation, she tells us, with her and Pat about when was the last time you was in a relationship or something like that. And she said 2020, and he said 6 months ago, right? And now she's looking at it. Mind you, I don't know why she's judging his answer, because at the end of the day, y'all both are weirdos for signing up for this process. So I don't even understand why there's judgment here. Because if we want to go judgment, the guy that you married and had children with, and he didn't work and things of that nature, y'all only dated for 3 months. And then you got married. So, like, I don't even understand the whole judging of where Rhonda comes from. And then on top of that, so what if he had a relationship 6 months ago? I understand there may be some people who do not like the word old and things like that. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just saying, like, senior citizen. I don't know what y'all want me to say, but Pat is not 32. He's not 42. He's not 52. You get what I'm saying? So I would think that, hey, if he wants to be married and want to basically have someone in his life near the latter part of his life, near, you know, the the last years of his life, it shouldn't be no break to where, the last relationship I had was 10 years ago. It's going to be 6 months ago. It's going to be 3 months ago. It might be yesterday. You get what I'm saying? I feel like because they are older, that there should be some confidence in, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. So it should be easier to end and start a relationship at their age. I didn't see a problem with Pat answer, especially to the point to where Rhonda got to call him insecure.
Yeah, and that's
weird.
And that's what I thought too. I'm just like, how long do you want him to wait?
Yeah.
Like, if he wants to be in a serious relationship or if he wants to date somebody, there's no time limit to doing that. Mm-hmm. So we move on to Will and Pat. Will is talking about how they had some arguments, but in his last relationships, he really didn't have any arguments. He's still trying to figure Brittany out. And Pat tells him, well, it's unusual to not have arguments in relationships, and you guys, are going to have to work it out. And he talks about there are some concerns with his, and they're trying to work things out as well.
Hey, that's normal. Mm-hmm. I do feel like, I wonder why there wasn't a lot of arguments in your last relationship, Will. Is it because you just kind of take this stance of you don't really care? Do you get what I'm saying? Because if there's no arguments, and arguments don't have to always be combative.
Yeah, it's like disagreements.
So it leads me to think, since he want to be the one to talk about, you don't really come up to me with any deep questions or anything like that y'all have any deep type of relationship or deep conversations in your relationship. Talk about Will's prior relationship, because the minute we have deep conversations, that she's going to have a side and I'm going to have a side, because when it comes to deep conversations, it just brings that out. It doesn't mean that it's combative. It just means that, this is what you really think about this. Well, this is what I think. So that's why I'm like, I wonder, Will, how many real relationships have you had yourself?
Yeah. So the couples get together on a boat. Josh and Jaylen are in a good place. They shared I love yous. Okay. Will says it's been amazing to learn how to communicate even though there are bumps, and he tells her she's gorgeous. Okay. She returns the compliment, and Brittany is feeling like they are connecting more.
Nice.
Rhonda and Pat have work to do, but they're having fun. Derek says there's been some small bumps, but they're connecting. Chad says we're just going to learn each other and enjoy the honeymoon.
I like Chad's stance right there.
Yeah.
Let's learn each other. Let's not judge each other. Mm-hmm. Let's just keep it light. We on the honeymoon. Yep.
Jaylen doesn't want to jump in the water. Josh ends up pushing her to do it. Belinda is scared of the water and sharks, and she is scared for her daughter because she's thinking to herself, he needs to be mindful of why she's scared about that and her fears and her concerns. And Chad says she's with her husband. She's fine. I'm on the mama side.
I know you are.
Because I don't like Josh continually pushing Jaylen out of her comfort zone. Don't get me wrong. She enjoyed it. She thought it was great. Not something that she's going to continue doing, but it was a good experience. I'm glad she felt that way. But Josh, if she's uncomfortable with doing something, allow her to not push herself to do it. I just don't think that's cool.
Yeah. Then I have a problem. I think I may just have a problem because it's compounded.
It's like she's constantly pushing herself for him.
And with water is very powerful. I don't play around with water. If somebody tells me they uncomfortable with big bodies of water, sharks or whatever, I'll just leave it alone, because even some of the best swimmers have passed away in oceans. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Lakes too.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, if somebody's uncomfortable with water, I just leave it alone. I'd be like, you know what? You're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Megan and Derek, Megan's excited to get back to Zoe. He doesn't want the dog sleeping in the bed, and Megan tells him she snores really lightly, and nothing is really worse than my night jolts and your night terrors.
I don't like this girl. I ain't gonna hold you.
I mean, the man clearly said that he didn't want that to happen, and she's ignoring him and his concerns.
Here's my thing about dogs, right? I know there's some dog lovers in the comments. And truth be told, I don't hate dogs myself. I actually love dogs myself, right? Not all types of dogs. I'm going to be honest. I don't love all type of dogs. But majority of dogs, I do love, right? I love dogs so much that I'm willing to not get one. That's how much I love dogs, right?
Yeah.
I don't even watch the dog videos, the ones that be adopt me and stuff like that. I just scroll right past it, because I know what it would do to me if I had a dog, and I know I'm going to outlive the dog and something happens to the dog. So I don't even want to go down that road. With that being said, my dog got to sleep on the floor. You get what I'm saying? My dog can't sleep in the bed with me. I understand that's, especially since you got a cute puppy and things of that nature. It may just seem cute, but there's nothing cute about a dog sleeping in the bed with two other people, especially when one person have a problem with it. And I think that's my issue with it, is that oh, you basically just want to plug and play Derek. Mm-hmm. You don't really want to give anything in this marriage, right? Mm-hmm. If it was a decision made by both parties that, oh yeah, the dog can sleep with us, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But I have a big problem with basically like, oh, the dog will sleep in the bed, and guess what? It's gonna sleep on your side. Mm-hmm. No, if the dog will sleep in the bed, how come it can't sleep on your side?
Yeah.
Like to me, I thought that was rude, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. So Will and Brittany visit this historic site. They're talking about how they really want the same things in the relationship. They just are going about it in different ways. Mm-hmm. And they end up having a good day together and share a kiss in a castle.
I actually thought it was a good date.
Yeah, I thought they had a really good date. And it was nice to see them just in a positive mood.
Yeah.
Rhonda and Patrick take a cocktail making class.
Uh-oh.
Now, we have to have one of Rhonda's sit downs. And she explains to him that she wasn't trying to criticize his choice about coming on the show after being broken up for 6 months. Mm-hmm. She was wondering if he was ready for the marriage or not wanting to be alone. And she admits that she put a wall up and she was trying to just process what she heard.
Yeah.
He felt like her eyes glossed over, she was being judgmental, and it made him feel small. Mm-hmm. She explains to him that it wasn't about him. She was trying to protect herself and to figure out what she was thinking. She also felt smothered, not really by anything he's been doing, but just because they've been together for 24/7 and she's not used to that. He admits that he didn't give her space because he was feeling insecure, and she tells him not to be insecure. They do end up hugging it out and, moving on from the conversation. But I will say that man, this conversation sparked a lot of debate mm-hmm. between my father and my husband.
We won.
And I will say my initial thoughts were that why can't Rhonda express what she was thinking?
Yeah.
She was clearly in the moment, not ready to talk. She's circling back to the conversation to let him know where she stood. And I felt that I felt like she was being clear about her concerns. And when it got to the part about the insecurity thing, like, I don't like how she kind of mishandled that.
Yeah.
As far as, you're insecure. Stop being insecure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think that if her mood did shift and he was unsure or didn't really understand what was going on there and it made him feel small, then she should have apologized for making him feel that way. Yeah, because you don't get to just have your emotions be all over the place and people have to take the brunt of it, mm-hmm. So to speak, even if you are being quiet or detached or whatever the case may be. Like, and I get that she's communicating now, but I felt like it didn't really speak to the impact it had on him, mm-hmm. so to speak. So your thoughts?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think when it came down to this initial scene, when you had the first round of debates with me,
yes,
before Pops, right?
Yeah.
There's two types of communication that we learned. There's verbal communication, and there's what? Nonverbal communication. Mm-hmm. And you can be direct with both, right? And she was being direct with her nonverbal communication to the point where he said, your eyes glossed over. I felt like you was being judgmental and it made me feel small, right? Even though her verbal words were saying, I needed time to process. And this is after the fact, mm-hmm. right? At the end of the day, she still communicated something else that he picked up on.
Which was judgment.
Which
was,
you made me feel small.
Yeah.
And then being told that, hey, you made me feel small. Oh, no, it's not about you. It's me. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to protect myself. Whoa, Rhonda, let's use your own advice now, right? He just told you something about himself, and you made it and pointed it back to you about how you do things.
Yeah.
About how you actually process things. But in the moment, he felt small, right? And the thing about it is, I think this is what happens when Rhonda always called people into the principal office. Mm. I think we are starting to see what her parents are saying. I mean, not parents, what her children are saying about her, saying that she's intense, meaning that it's okay to be intense about intense things, But I think she's intense about small things. Something as small as, why did you sign up for the show? Is it because you just want to be? It's just like, why does it matter?
Right.
I'm
here now.
Like, I'm here now. You get what I'm saying? Everything that happened before you was before you. And for you to actually take the non-verbal communication to the point to judge me and to make me feel small, I felt like it wasn't needed. It was intense for no reason.
Yeah.
You took a conversation that was light, such as, when was your last relationship? And with me having my defense down, that's the whole point of a conversation, is that when I'm talking to Blair, when I'm talking to y'all, my defense is down. I'm being vulnerable. I'm being open. I'm communicating. While my defense is down, you use that moment while my defense was down to judge me. And your judgment attacked me, and it made me feel small. And now you're trying to color it over with the whole, well, this is just how I process things. I needed to feel safe, and this is how I feel safe. And I just felt the need to protect myself. What do you mean protect yourself from what?
Yeah.
Like why are we in the principal office? How come we just can't be like Chad and just chill and have a honeymoon? But it just feels like, and I'm learning, and listen here, I'm picking up on Rhonda. I think Rhonda's a little bit selfish. I think what I'm picking up on Rhonda, and I said this to Blair, I said, I think she believes that because of what she's been through in her previous marriage, starting with the first one, right?
Yeah.
The one that had all the kids, right? I think she feels like she is owed this marriage, right? To where, like, because of everything I've been through, I had to take care of the kids, the man didn't work and things of that nature. I am owed this, so it should be about me. If you take the conversation and make it about you, no, it needs to be about me and how I feel, and I should be able to protect myself whenever I want to. I should be able to have nonverbal communication to you, and guess what? It's not about you, it's just me. And I'm just like, no, Rhonda, you are not... This marriage is not a gift to you. You have to be a gift to the marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to show up as an equal partner. You get what I'm saying, in this marriage. But we going to talk more about Rhonda.
We move on to Josh and Jaylen. He talks about how his family didn't grow up with much money, so he spent a lot of time exploring as a kid. Jaylen, of course, grew up privileged with her dad playing baseball, her mom being a stay-at-home mom. So they did a lot of activities, Toys R Us, all that stuff.
Nice.
She shares how her parents didn't finish college, so it was a goal of hers to finish, but she got distracted with sports, with relationships, and she just started getting into the workforce.
Yeah.
She sometimes would feel afraid that somebody would judge her for not finishing college, and she developed the insecurity around that. And that's something that she was also concerned about coming into this process, if the other person would look down on her in a way because she didn't finish college.
Yeah.
So he explains that he didn't go to school, and he thinks that, I do think we should encourage our children to go to college if it's right for their career path. And Jaylen, talks about how her parents never showed affection to each other. She wants her kids to know they're, basically going to be showing love within their relationship. So he had family that apparently wanted to kiss him on the mouth, and I kind of I just heard the record scratch, and I kind of was a little bit confused with that, but I didn't think too much into it.
Yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he was talking about his grandparents. Talk about how much love they showed him and stuff like that.
Okay.
To the point, I think hopefully it was an expression to where they would kiss me on the mouth or wanted to kiss me in the mouth. That's how much they show love. I think they're coming from two broken homes,
in different ways.
Right? Even though she may have had the house and maybe the stable mom in the house and things like that, when it comes to relationships, she's still kind of learning her way around it and trying to paint a picture of how she want her relationships to be and things like that. And that's fair, right? And I give respect to Josh to where he made a living for himself basically with his trade and things of that nature, the way he's like, you know what, this is what I do. I'm a business owner. So I do think it is fair to have your kid and have conversations with your kid of like, hey, look, you can develop a trade. You can go to college. You should go into the workforce and things of that nature. But just to let you know, look, mom is someone, and this is not, hopefully, don't say it like how I'm going to say it because it may sound like a slight. Mom didn't finish college or didn't go to college, but look at the life that she created for herself. You get what I'm saying? Look at dad. I'm a business owner. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think they need to start viewing their life as more of an asset and more of like a positive than a negative. And I think she's working her way through that slowly but surely.
Yeah, overall, I just felt like this was a good conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a good conversation for them to really get to know each other, to know their history, to learn a little bit about what makes, her insecure when it comes to career or college. So that way they have like a deeper understanding of each other. And these are the conversations I think that really help to grow connections.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Now we move on to Chad and Belinda. They're talking about romance, and he believes that you do need to make an effort for romance, including flowers and candles.
Yeah.
And for romance to her, it's pretty much cuddling and kissing. Any thoughts about that?
No. I actually do not disagree with that.
Yeah, I think that both can be good. I think that if I were to just kind of throw a little, sauce on Belinda's story or whatever, maybe those are some things that she missed in her marriage because her husband was cheating, away for work, all those different types of things. So I think that is something that she would want in her day-to-day life, And I think for Chad, I mean, he seems to do those things effortlessly. So for romance, I think that he would believe it is stepping it up a little bit when it comes to the flowers and the candles and things of that sort. So yeah.
No, I actually agree with that, because I think a lot of people speak from lack.
Yeah.
So when she say cuddling and kissing, I think she's talking about the basics of things that she probably didn't have in her relationship.
Yeah. Now, she likes how he is and that he's a family person. Yep. She could see herself falling in love with him, and the same for him as well. He has a hard time finding the words exactly for how she makes him feel. He's talking about how she makes him feel special. Yep. And then production chimes in and asks, so how does she make you feel special? And he tells the production, look, we're trying to talk, we're trying to share. Essentially, I need y'all to pipe down so I can figure out what I'm trying to say. He can never really get it together. So he gets up, says he's tired, and they end up walking back to the room.
Yeah. Here's what I thought. I thought he did make it uncomfortable. I thought it was kind of strange that production kind of chimed in. You get what I'm saying? And he just felt frustrated because I think he was trying to find the words. But I think he made it feel awkward for her, though. He made the nice setting feel awkward for Belinda, and you could tell her mood shift immediately. Yeah. And things of that nature.
Yeah, I thought that when watching this, I didn't think Chad's reaction was the worst, but I did feel like you're being a little rude.
Okay.
And maybe he felt production was being rude because he's trying to have a date. But from my perspective, you're on a TV show, and even though, you may be having a date and trying to get to know this person, there are people producing and directing the show. Yeah. So if it's taking you a while to get your words and get things together, you may be prodded a little bit or poked, or however you want to put it, to move forward in the conversation or in whatever is happening. Yeah. And so I think that maybe he is just unfamiliar with the fact that you're on a show and it isn't going to be just like regular life. Yeah. And I felt like Belinda, I saw the shift in her because, and this is me putting a little extra sauce on her situation as well.
Her story is real saucy to you. It's like, okay.
I'm thinking that maybe she's experienced that before and has seen somebody be rude to waiters or staff or like people that they didn't feel like they could benefit from, and just being short tempered, so to speak. So maybe it wasn't necessarily a thing of like, oh my gosh, like Chad, you're the worst, but a thing of like, I present myself in a certain way and I'm patient and I'm mindful of people and how I talk to them, regardless of how they approach me, and that's not something that I want to be seen, neither my partner. I don't want to be that couple going back and forth with production type of thing. It's kind of how I pictured it. So
yeah, I think for your analysis, I think it does matter what came first, the chicken or the egg. If Chad felt like they was rude first, then it will paint the color of, oh, now I kind of see why Chad acted that way. But if Chad was just being rude and made it awkward, I can see why both people can kind of have the right answer depending on where you come from. Yeah. So they're sitting in the bed and she's explaining to him that she didn't
it matters to her how we treat everybody.
Yeah.
And he said that he was just voicing his frustration. He's used to being the one that barks the orders, and this is a bit difficult for him.
Fact.
So he does apologize. She explains that she doesn't get past apologies quickly. She needs to sleep on it, but she's afraid that showing up for herself is going to make him resent her because as though she's not on his side, like she's coming down on him too hard. And he tells her, I'm supposed to be your safe place. You can come to me and talk to me about anything. He's human. He'll screw up, but he will try to do better.
Listen here, Belinda wanted to pack her bags that night and get up out of there.
Yeah.
She looked very uncomfortable. I'm going to give Chad bail out of jail because I think in a lot of relationships, if you're with your partner and they kind of go off the hinges in your opinion, the other person go feel uncomfortable unless y'all just that couple that go off together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If someone disrespected me, or if I felt like I'm disrespected, as Chad felt like he was being disrespected, and I'm checking the person or the people that disrespect me, Blair would feel uncomfortable because of the way that I'm going to go about it, because I don't play about disrespect. So I think it's normal for him to have that reaction. The same way I think it's just as normal for her to have that reaction. And I like the fact that they actually are talking about it. I will say near the end of the conversation, Belinda took it to another place that I was like, I don't know how we got here, but I'm happy you got that off your chest.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because
I think it's just past stuff creeping
yeah,
up. You know?
So like I think the word that everybody keep using is triggered. And now I think in this moment, she was second guessing the whole process. And you have the right to do that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's an intense process.
So Will and Brittany are back from their date and the mood is awful.
Yeah.
The vibes are bad.
Yeah.
So he wasn't comfortable getting intimate with her again. She feels rejected and no wife wants to hear that her husband doesn't want to be intimate.
Sure.
He was uncomfortable with her reaction that last time, didn't want things to happen again. And he feels like she just wants to brush over the whole situation that they had. He wants to do everything else but sex, and Brittany says it's hard for her to move forward if she feels rejected. He tells her, well, being intimate seems like the biggest facet of you being wanted. She doesn't want to be married to someone who is distant, who doesn't talk to her, and also doesn't want to be intimate. He apologizes for not handling things the best.
In this scene, I got the perfect picture of these two. It took this scene to confirm what I thought in my head. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what it is. Brittany has admitted to us, this is not me putting anything on her name, right? That within the past 10 years, she haven't had a relationship that lasted more than 3 months, right? So she only knows intimacy on an entry level.
Yeah.
On a level that, I guess, I don't want to say horny teenagers, but inexperienced adults would interact.
Yeah.
So she figures we had a great day today. We was kissing. We didn't argue. And the best way to actually make the day good is sex.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? She did not view the whole day of them being at the castle, them sharing compliments with each other.
It was a success.
Them holding hands. She did not view it as intimacy. Right? She viewed it as kind of like, oh, now we can have intimacy after this.
Like that was foreplay.
Exactly,
so
right?
to speak. Yeah.
I want you to give your thoughts on this because I'm gonna go a little deeper.
Yeah, I was a little sad, Brittany. I felt like she was being a brat.
Oh man.
I felt like, and I don't say that to make it seem like being a brat is the worst thing in the world, but it looks bad. I've been a brat in my life as well. and I can see it because I know. So I felt, in Married at First Sight, we see couples to where one person isn't ready to be intimate yet, and it's usually the women, and the men have to deal. And to see that Brittany doesn't know how to deal with the fact that he isn't ready to be intimate yet was giving childish to me, inexperienced, if you will. And I totally can understand where she's coming from, that the emotional reaction to that is, why would my husband not want to have sex with me? Right. But I think that she's missing the piece of, you just met this person.
Facts.
You had a terrible reaction after the first time.
Facts.
So we kind of have to put the puzzle pieces together and take baby steps. And I think that's something that Brittany isn't used to doing, is being slow and taking baby steps, since that is something she told us she moves pretty quickly in relationships. And just because somebody wants to slow things down or get to know you first, it doesn't mean that they don't want to continue to be to have intimate moments, because I felt the moment at the castle was an intimate moment. It was. And it seems like they're pushing along in the right path. So I was just a little disappointed. I was just like, like, I get the emotional reaction, and I know that emotions don't always mesh with logic, and I felt like that's where Brittany was standing in that moment, is just so deep in her emotions that she couldn't see that it's kind of for the best that you guys take your time with everything that's transpired, you know,
especially due to your reaction. Now let me go a little deeper, and I'm probably would do a deep dive about this, right? Brittany in her own personal life haven't seen any example of a healthy relationship. Talk about parents wise. Right. So because she haven't seen an example like that parents wise, because she haven't experienced it herself personally, mind you, she's not 40 something years old. So that means within the past 10 years, basically through her whole adult life, she haven't had a real experience with the opposite sex to where she'd be like, I could gain experience from this. So basically, to put it in regular terms, she don't know men. She don't know how to operate with men outside of sex. You get what I'm saying? So what does that do? Here's the thing about it. Her ignorance, I'm going to give her credit. Her ignorance, even though she's ignorant in all of this, that doesn't take away the fact that she wants to learn. You can see she's very eager. But just because you're eager doesn't take away the fact that you're not experienced, right? So what happens when you're eager? You end up taking the lead, even though you don't know where to go. Dude, you get what I'm saying? You end up leading conversations even though you don't know where to go. And that's what we're seeing with Will and Brittany. Brittany is trying to lead it somewhere because she's so eager to basically, and like, I don't want to say it this way, but kind of like, okay, I haven't been a good girlfriend, but I know I could be a good wife. That's a huge jump. Do you get what I'm saying? Especially with an intense process like this. So throughout this whole time, you haven't been in an experienced relationship as a girlfriend, and now you're trying your best to be like, you know what? Me being a wife is going to be nothing like me being a girlfriend. You get what I'm saying? So that's why she's kind of leading, and she's finding herself kind of crashing every time, and she's learning on the job. And when you're learning on the job, you're going to be bad. Now, here's the thing about learning on the job, because now I got to give Will some smacks across the neck a little bit, right? When you're with someone that is inexperienced, I think Will knows that she's inexperienced in relationships. I think he's picking up on that. And besides him meeting her where she is, in my opinion, even though he did it that one time, I find him often kind of like, all his conversation with her kind of feels like, duh, like, why don't you know that? Dude, you kind of get what I'm saying? Like, it just, there is an undertone of duh whenever he's talking to Brittany, right? So I would like to see Will, even though I do not think he's a catchy, I don't think he's the worst person we've seen on the show, nowhere near the villain this season, as like I thought he was in the beginning, because I do think he still want to be the smartest one in the room, but I've seen enough of Megan to know she's the villain of the season, right? I want to see Will actually like be there with her in the whole idea of, you know what, someone has to be the teacher. you
think he needs to do better at acknowledging her emotions, at least saying like, I can see why it would make you feel that way, like, I'm, you know, because he's apologizing. I don't think he's really done anything wrong this scene.
Here's the thing about it, right? I don't think that, I think he does that enough. I think he told her numerous times, this is why we're not having sex. This is not, so words is not going to do it, because in her head, she's like, we should be having sex. We're married. We should be having sex. I was having sex with guys a week after I met them and things of that nature. I'm putting a little sauce on her story a little bit. But she said she became exclusive with guys a weekend, right? So she's trying to lead. And I think instead of him trying to help her, I think he's like, I'm going to let you crash. Because that's the only way that you're going to learn. And in some ways, I understand it, but I can see why people can kind of feel like, I don't like Will. You get what I'm saying? Because
I just for this conversation, I don't know what he could have done.
No, there's not. Because they had the perfect date.
Yeah, yeah.
They had the perfect date. And when it came down to actually having sex, he put a boundary out of saying, we're not going to do this. And she didn't respect that boundary.
Yeah.
Now she made it about her and made it about how their relationship status is as husband and wife. So there's nothing he really could have offered in that moment. But I think whenever somebody don't know something, you have to keep reiterating. You have to keep reiterating in good moments. Not only when the moment shows up, but all the time. She don't know, but the thing about it, she wants to know.
Yeah.
And because she wants to know, that's what's leading her to basically go down these paths, even though she don't know where the hell she going. You know what I mean?
So we get to Rhonda and Pat. They both haven't lived with a partner in years. The last time he lived with someone, or she lived with someone, was 99. She wants to be flexible and to be able to adapt. The last time he lived with somebody was like 2017, and he believes that they can figure things out together and do things together. She says, and separately, about 2 times.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that because, Rhonda, you have a lot of opinions for someone who haven't lived with someone since 1999.
Yeah, and this is what made me think that I don't know if Rhonda's going to be able to be very flexible in this relationship. I just don't. I don't know if she's going to be able to do it.
You're right.
We get to Megan and Derek. They are both looking forward to living together. She does believe the toilet seat should be down. No electronica when she's at home. Only country music.
Okay.
Megan, I don't know about you either. I will agree with the toilet seat being down, though. Put it in a neutral position.
Look before you sit. Okay. Even with the toilet seat being up or down, I never sat down on the toilet seat without looking.
Okay. We get to Josh and Jaylen. Her lease is going to be up soon, and he, of course, wants them to live together after this process. They also end up taking a shower together, so things are getting hot and steamy with them.
And that's it.
That's where we end.
Listen here. This episode's coming out today. And this is episode 5.
Yep.
Episode 6 is going to come out today as well. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Look out for those 2. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and hype the video. We see you next time.
Bye.